everybody, and welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charli Matthews, and like every week, I'm so excited to be here in order to bring you some amazing people that I've met, or people have sent me, or that we're working with. And I'm really excited about EPIC. So that is the Empowering Pumps and Industry Conference. It's going to be November the 12th and the 13th at the Colorado School of Mines. And so I thought, what better than bringing on some staff to talk to you about what we're doing there and our partnership. So let's start with Lia. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Great. Good morning. My name is Lia Franklin. I am the Associate Director of the McNeil Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. And we're super excited about you coming to campus and some of the activities that we'll be doing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I've been at Mines now for over 10 years. And love the sweet spot that we have, where we have the ability to inspire students to be innovative and add real value to industry.
Absolutely. Sid?
Hi, I'm Sid Saleh. I'm the director of the McNeil Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. I'm also a faculty, so I teach entrepreneurship and innovation leadership courses. And just like Leah said, I get a big kick out of helping students find their path in life.
Yes, you absolutely do. I can tell the passion. That's why we absolutely love working with you both. But tell us a little bit about the McNeil Center.
Sure. So the McNeil Center was endowed by Charli and Judy McNeil in 2021. And their purpose was to excite and engage and trigger entrepreneurs, whether they want to start a startup or innovate inside a big company or a large organization. They just wanted people to think like entrepreneurs, which means they're creative problem solvers. They solve problems for some impact outside of their own needs.
Yeah, and I just think it's neat because I am an entrepreneur, that it excited me. You know, I'm excited about all the different innovations and just getting people to think differently by being a part of this. Leah, you got any other additions to that?
I'd add a little bit on to what Sid said with regards to how we do this. So we offer courses where students can work with us over a period of a 16-week semester, really learning the process of innovation. We source industry-based challenge, problems, and it's not consulting. We don't let the industry sponsor direct where the work is going to go. It is student-led. And what's interesting with some of those challenges, within the first few weeks of the semester, sometimes students identify that the problem that came to us is not really the problem. And they have to be able to convince the CEO, the problem champion, whoever that is, that really this is not the problem. And here's all the data to support that. This is the problem we should be working on. So it's really a cool process. And end of semester, they're actually presenting out the prototype and what the solution is. So it's an amazing process to see Sid in action in class leading this innovation. It is amazing. Last semester we had over 40 students in the class, 11 live projects. So it was a lot, but it was amazing. Another way that we engage with students are through challenges. So they are non-credit opportunities that we build the challenge opportunity. Typically, we do a challenge from start to finish in 2 to 3 weeks. We've had some that are longer, some that are shorter. We've done it in as few as 3 hours. We did a big project a few years ago with Toyota. It was just an afternoon, which was amazing. But that innovative thinking, problem solving, listening, understanding what the constraints are to come up with viable solutions is really our sweet spot.
Right.
Go ahead, Sid. I was going to say, Sid, what is that like, that environment? I mean, it has to be rewarding to be sitting with all of those great minds, right?
Yeah, I mean, Lee and I are teaching the class that we wish we had taken when we were undergrads, right? And but it's, as you know, education has come a long way and continues to evolve much faster than anyone would have thought. So in the old days, people went to a good school because they had access to knowledge. But today, knowledge is available on YouTube, TikTok. You can get access to any library anywhere. So our job now is to actually filter the noise. So our students, whether they're undergrads coming to get a degree or working adults trying to upskill and get competencies, our job is to make sure we filter the noise and tell them, here's the myth, leave that stuff out of the way, the noise, the distractions, the sound bites, and then here's what you need. So we tend to work more of around people's needs. You need to do this. Here's what it takes. You need to get over this obstacle or barrier. Here's how we're going to help you do that. So it's a learning process on all sides.
Yeah, and y'all both said process. So that's what I really love about this. Like, you have it down. You kind of, let's talk a little bit about Innov8x, and maybe that'll kind of show people what we're doing and how that process works. So the start of that, kind of explaining what Innov8x is, and then we'll go from there.
Lia, you want to go?
You start, I'll add.
So it started out with us working with the Department of Defense folks who came up with, and outside people who came up with this idea of hacking for defense. And then our students would be a little bit afraid of, hey, I'm not a hacker. I don't want to be a hacker. So it's not that kind of a hack. It's hacking, life hacking type of hacking. And they would say, no, that's not for me. So we changed the name to Innov8 Defense. And then FEMA came around and said, hey, this is cool stuff we want to play. So they brought us over a dozen problems. And so we called it Innov8 Emergency Management. Then just got tired of changing the name. So we called it Innov8x, which is X is a variable. You can change and you can innovate anything you want. So we get, like Lia said earlier, we get problems from industry, from government, from National Guard, from nonprofit, from even the local, town of Golden. So we frame those problems in a way where the students first have to investigate. And so the idea is kind of like, when you go to a doctor's office, the first thing they say is, why are we seeing you here today, right? But the way others teach entrepreneurship innovation courses is you walk into a doctor's office and they'll just tell you, here's 50 different treatments and medications. Which one would you like? We don't do that. We first say, why are we seeing you here? What's the problem? So we teach the students to first investigate the problem. We call it, and others have called it the same thing, fall in love with the problem, really become intimately familiar with the situation, the awareness of what's causing the problem. And then as they uncover the problem, again, just like Lia said, sometimes they say, well, you thought you had this problem, you really have this other problem. Is that okay? We work with you on it. And usually they say, sure. And that's when we start solving the problem. Because half the time, I say even more than half the time, people waste a lot of energy, a lot of effort solving the wrong problem. Then they're disappointed that they didn't come up with a good solution.
Charli, what's really neat about these class challenges, as well as the Innov8x challenges that we do, is a lot of times what we see at the end of the semester, at the end of the challenge, that the progress is so good that the companies, the problem champions, want the work to continue. And so it creates internship opportunities, job they've hired our students on that are still with them today, still working to develop that solution more and more and more. So that's some of the sweet spots after these opportunities, is that there's value added that continues, continuing to add value to the organization as well as to the students that participated.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so we're so excited that Epic has partnered with y'all to kind of bring our manufacturers together, to give them the opportunity to present a problem to be solved. So really excited about that, just being on the call and kind of going through what the problem could be. I was excited about that because it sounds like what everybody that I talked to, it's an ongoing problem for industry that maybe we can get a hold of. So yeah, put those bright minds on it. Really excited about that. I do want to shift gears just a little bit because I want to know a little bit more about y'all and kind of why did you get into the industry? What led you to doing this work? Anybody want to go first?
Lia?
Sure. I can jump in. Well, Charli, my undergraduate's in business marketing. My master's degree area is college student personnel. So the sweet spot between the psychology and education. And then my PhD area is in leadership, research, and policy. I've had a career, I've had over 30 years in higher ed. I used to run a business MBA program. And what I've found over the time is my sweet spot is where industry and education connect. And that's what Innov8x is all about. It's not just theoretical ideas. It is theory to practice. And the sweet spot is really adding value. So I'm newer to this than Sid, as far as I joined his team about 1.5 years ago. because this is a new area for mines. And I said, when I met Sid, I'm like, what are you doing in this space? I got to learn more about it. So couldn't be more excited to work with such a amazing professional as Sid, with the passion and the gift of working with students to inspire and excite, to really create value.
Yeah. Yeah, really. And thank you, Leah. So the way we think about it is, and how I got started in this is problem solve, right? You create value, add value by solving a problem, filling a gap, meeting a need. So you look for ways to do that. I was lucky enough to, when I was an undergrad at the University of Houston, I was asked to help an architect make a dome out of acrylic material. And to make a long story short, I was a math major, so I used trigonometry to solve the problem with a friend of mine. And then we solved the problem for this guy who was like really trying hard for a long time, wasting a lot of money. And to my surprise, he wrote us a check for $400. This is a long time ago. And to be able to solve a problem and get surprised to get paid for solving the problem, that was like, wow, look at that. I could do something with this, right? And then got into the Putnam competition, which had you get a problem from usually a defense entity, and you have to solve it. You have 72 hours to solve it. So I got hooked on this idea of creating value, solving problems, and doing it in a competitive kind of environment. And then I started a startup, and then joined, after the startup, I joined Apple. So I spent about 6-7 years at Apple, became a product manager for some of the earlier stuff, and then got into consulting, started my own company again, and did a lot of analytics work, then decided to take some time and get a PhD. So I went back to school late in life, because was very interested in why did things work the way they work when we started to solve problems or look for value, to create value, look for gaps to kind of fill. And then I found a passion for teaching, because that's part of the PhD program. Most PhD programs, you have to sort of teach to get out, to finish. And then I got recruited after a little bit of time at CU Boulder, and then Europe. I got into mines. So I've been doing that for a while now here.
And it sounds like this is, this program, because we do give students kind of this cash value. The teams compete, and whoever wins, they kind of get this cash value. From your story, that is what motivates us. Think of all the volunteer organizations, things kind of slow down a little bit, but if you've got a prize at the end of it, that competition is there, that urgency is there. And so that speeds up that process to get to the answer, which I love. That makes so much sense to me. I love it. I do, Leah, I know that you said something about leadership, and you love leadership, but you're also leading women in the industry. So I wanted you to tell us a little bit about that as well.
Sure. We have a group. So Mines is a STEM campus. And I think it was about 10 years ago that I started our Women's Empower group. And that focuses on staff and faculty. It's open to all on campus. And it's really about connecting skill development, leadership development, and training, networking to really build the pipeline of women in STEM. So we have worked that it's been a volunteer group. I've pulled some friends together that are interested in this space, and they say, yeah, we'll help. So it is a fully volunteer organization that works in creating value for the Mines campus.
I love it.
So it's been great.
Yes. And, I think that that's part of it, being able to work. And I've talked about this before with y'all, but I know people see it, that passion for the students, and, just being able to create that environment for innovation and entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. So I think that entrepreneur spirit can go beyond if you have a startup or not. And I think that's what we want. I'm constantly looking for the other, entrepreneur spirited person to join my team. And so, I think that passion and being able to grow leaders, whether it's in the class or on the campus with our staff, I see that from both of you, and even just inspiring us, industry leaders out there. Y'all are definitely doing that, and we are so ready to get on campus with y'all. We cannot wait. So we're going to be doing that in November. So November 12th and 13th. If y'all haven't seen it yet, you can go to empoweringindustry.com and get all of that information. The schedule is strong. We will continue to be adding the part of the school itself into, and the students' activities into that schedule. But know it's coming, and get excited about it with us. I'll let y'all have the last word. Sid?
Well, Lia is very humble. I mean, she's actually leading multiple women organizations, so she should definitely get the last word and tell you more about that.
Great. I've got a couple groups on campus that I lead. And then I was the board chairwoman for a Colorado and Wyoming group that serves women across 2 states. It's been a labor of love. I've served on that board for 10 years. Again, all volunteer. And the focus of that is really, we build it out as a cohort. But it's really about helping women advance, supporting the network, and giving them what they need to get to the next level, whether that's at their institution, at another institution, but really being that driving force to build momentum. So it has been a labor of love. I'm super excited, Charli, to be working with you. We're really looking forward to this. I will tell you, as a closing piece, what I have learned in my time with Sid with regards to engineering students. So we're an engineering school. When you talk about entrepreneurship, students are scared by that. They're coming to a great engineering school because they want to get a great job. But when you lead with innovation and driving change and making impact, that's where we get traction. So it's all about understanding what is motivating to them. And I've seen this program change career trajectories of students because of their interaction with us through a challenge or through the class, that doors open that they never thought would open to really launch their career in a whole new area that they never even considered. It's just because they didn't know about it. So this changes lives in a very positive way.
And Charli, if we can help some of your listeners or viewers start their entrepreneurial journey or solve a problem creatively, let's all of us team up with your team and work with them.
Absolutely. And, I'm super inspired. We do a lot of the work with empowering women in industry, and bringing that to EPIC and the pump industry has been really wonderful, because what I saw is just developing leaders across a board. What do we need? What do we not know? Male or female, we can use the instruction and the resources. It just looks a little different for all of us. And I am so inspired by y'all and the school. The campus is amazing. We're just gonna all be together, and when we leave, we're gonna have that innovative spirit that does continue. But even before that, if y'all want to get in touch, I know y'all are active on LinkedIn, but we'll also put some links to the program and everything. Thanks for being here. Always inspires me to talk to you both. And thanks again. Everybody else. For everybody else, if you haven't done so, because you should have already done it by now, like and shared and sent it to your best friend, do that. But also, be empowering. I always say at the end, until next time, be empowering. So take care, everyone.